sales side, you just grew, and then you took over as president of the company.
Yeah. So I went from the sales guy to EVP of sales and marketing to president of the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then how long were you there?
I was there 5 years. 5 years. And it's interesting. I'll share this with you, Patrick. So many people are intrigued with the story, and they celebrate me going from the storage closet to president.
Right.
But many people in our country don't want to hear what it took for me to do that. People don't want to hear about the sacrifice. No one wants to talk about how in a 5-year time period, I only took 11 days vacation. Now, you and I both know we live in a society now where people take 11 days vacation in the first quarter of the year.
Right.
They don't want to hear about that. There are pictures of me in the delivery room with my wife for my firstborn. You can see my laptop open in the pictures. And people don't want to hear about that because that doesn't fall with work-life balance. My attitude is, if you want to be successful, success falls, and it's funny, they both start with S, success and sacrifice. You're going to have to do it. So many people don't want to hear about that aspect of it, but that's what happened. Phenomenal opportunity, worked hard, and there you have it.
And what happened with exiting? I mean, so 5 years later, you're president, you exit, what happened?
So I was president, was sole owner, CEO, Dustin, great guy. Still enjoyed working with him in the team there. But again, I don't write code. Wasn't passionate about it. And Q3 of 2015, I was on a flight, and I don't like to fly, and I hit a lot of turbulence, and I had 2 children at the time, and I said, oh my God, if something happened to me, my children would not know where I came from. They wouldn't know that we don't know where our last name comes from. So I set out on this mission to put my story in a book for my children. Never wanted that book to go public because of the horrific stories that were in there. And truth be told, I didn't want people to know my background. I didn't want you to know my father was a drug dealer. I didn't want you to know I didn't have a degree. There's many people out there who assumed I had an MBA. No, if you assumed it, I just ran with it.
Right.
And so I was whatever I needed to be to get to wherever I wanted to go. So I set out on this mission, met the 2 guys from Book in a Box, Tucker Max and Zach Obrant, and Tucker comes over to my office. We sit down. I said, look, man, I don't even know if this is a book. I don't care if I ever sell a copy. And here's my story. And he looks at me at the end. He goes, yeah, you got a book. So long story short, we're wrapping up, and we're sitting in this conference room. It was like a 35, 50 person conference table. And he's like, man, you've built a great company here. And I go, no, I did not build this. This was a combination of a lot of hard work by many people. I just got to be a part of it. And he goes, when you go through our process, will you give me feedback? Yeah, why not? Unbeknown to him, I was already looking to transition out of the software company. So I get my first email from Tucker's company, and I call him up and I say, hey, you still want feedback? And he goes, yeah. I said, I swing hard. He goes, give it to me. I go, okay, this is great. This is great. Keep doing this. This sucks. What are you thinking? Stop this immediately. And he goes, you got all that from an email? Yeah. Would you like to be on our advisory board? One thing led to another. I started doing my book with them, woke up one day as CEO of the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's where you are now.
That's where I am now. So here we are. I've been with Tucker and Zach now 2.5 years later. One of the things that I've greatly appreciated from them both is not only did they make me president and CEO, but they also gave me equity in the company. And that's something I never had at the software company.
Wow. So now there's so much here that's rich in this story. Let's get into the lessons.
All right.
Now we got the people who want to learn from your experience.
Right.
It seems like everything you threw yourself into, from cleaning the toilets to learning about mortgages, et cetera, that you just went out and learned everything you could.
Yes.
So you dispel the myth, I think, through your story that you have to have an academic background in a given area to be able to succeed at it. Because I think there's a lot of people right now who are working in jobs they don't like, or that they feel compressed. Maybe they want to start to set up some side hustle to start to generate some income and have a dream of moving out and doing something else. What would you recommend to them? What's their path?
Learn everything. One of the greatest things for me, a third grade teacher, Miss Dudek, I remember she stood in front of the class one day and she said, "There are no stupid or dumb questions." I took that literally, and to this day, I'll ask for anything and everything, because the worst thing you can say to me is no. So I'll ask questions, and it's the damnedest thing. You'd be surprised that if you ask someone, people will take the time to explain things to you, or you'd be surprised what you can ask for that people will actually give to you. But for me, it's exactly what you said. I remember when I was standing there cleaning the toilets one morning, and I looked at the toilet, and it was filthy. It was from the night before. I said, okay, if this is my job right now, no matter what I do in this world, I'm going to be the best at it. So these are going to be the cleanest toilets in San Antonio, Texas. And that was my goal. That was my mission. And so everything I approach with that same thought process. How can I be the best at this? And I want to learn, I want to ask questions, and I want to be the best at whatever it is I'm doing.
What's the role of attitude? I mean, what's interesting is I'm sure there could be many different types of responses to your story. Somebody who's hearing the story,
right?
Because it's a very tragic story as far as what your upbringing was, how you're being beaten by prostitutes, you're left with young children for extended periods of time. I mean, you get into that story. But you're saying it with this twinkle in your eye, a little bit of a smile on your face. So you make it kind of like almost like you're like, I'm not feeling like, oh my God, I'm feeling really horrible for you.
Right. No, I don't do that.
And we're laughing a little bit about the story. You know. So how does that attitude emerge? That because you could be really angry, you could be really you could be a lot of different things. Instead, you're sitting here with a smile on your face, telling a story, and even as you're reflecting back on it, it's like so horrible that you have to laugh, kind of a thing, right?
When that last piece there, when we were poor, my mother and I, at times, all we had was laughter.
Right.
And I would be lying if I didn't tell you that in my 20s and things that I wasn't angry at times. There's been some struggles. I was horrific in relationships. I mean, a monster. I was a walking monster. Couldn't hold a relationship, didn't know how to have a relationship. And so that was a tough time period for me. There was times where I was angry. I'll share this one piece with you. I was about 33 years old, and my mother and I were having a conversation. And I remember as a kid, my dad would call and say, "Hey, get him ready. I'm going to come pick him up." And man, I'd stand in that window for hours waiting for that man, loyal. I'm like, oh, he's going to come. And you look, oh, there he is. No, that's not him. That's not him. 4, 5, 6 hours, he'd never show up. When I would wake up, there would be a Hot Wheel, a little book, some little trinket there for me. And my mom would say, man, I'm doing my best not to tear up. My mom would say that your dad stopped by. And I'd go outside with all these other kids and show them, hey, look what my dad got me, blah, blah, blah. At 33 years old, my mom told me that she said that it wasn't your dad that did that, it was me. I was furious because I had given this love to someone who really wasn't there versus the person I felt should have got the love.
Right.
So I was angry. My mother and I didn't talk for about 3 months. And furious. So I've gone through some anger, some frustration, bad relationships. But where I am now and where I've been probably over the last 10 years is I live by a formula, especially when I was broke. When I had money, then you go back to -0. Mindset, choices, and hard work equals success. And what I mean by that is every morning I get up at 4 a.m. I'm human. There's days I want to stay in bed. I want to hit snooze, especially if my wife's snoring. I want to stay there. But then I say to myself, okay, there's someone out there right now with cancer in a hospital that's never going to leave that hospital.
Right.
They would give anything just to walk to the restroom on their own. forget about leaving the hospital, just to walk to the restroom. And I have the ultimate gift and privilege to be able to get out of bed and go achieve my dreams and goals. So I jump out of bed and I go for it. And then choices, it really comes down to what do you want to do? And I, as simple as this. Many people won't admit this. I love McDonald's. I'll own it. On the way to the gym, I got to pass McDonald's. Here's the choice. Do you go to the gym? Do you stop at McDonald's? It's that simple in life. So mindset, choices, hard work. Well, for me, that's easy. Patrick, you work 24, I'm going 25. You do 36, I'm going 37. And then equals success. And a lot of people push back and, oh, well, JT, it's not that easy. In my opinion, it is. And opportunity is everywhere. A lot of people don't know this. In-N-Out Burger has managers who make $160,000 a year that started cleaning the toilets. We live in a society now, not everyone, but so many people don't want to work for it. So many people want that instant gratification. No one wants to put in the time, the effort, the grind, the hustle, the extra hours to achieve their goals. You know, so many people are victims. You know, I can't change what happened to me. It's in the past. So to answer your question, all of those things, as traumatic as they were, as bad as they were, I can't change the past. No matter how much I sit here and think about it, no matter how much I sit here and dwell on it, and I can be angry, I can be mad, I can't change it. So my attitude is, I can change the next hour. I can change the next day. So I'm going to focus on those things because I can't do anything about that.